Today we're going to talk about buying a welder. So in my last video, or a couple videos ago, I talked about and I showed you a trailer that I bought, and now we're going to start working on that trailer, adding some stuff to it, taking some stuff off, and it's come to the point where I'm going to have to get a welder. So I've been looking around, and basically there are two welders that I've been looking at, and I'm going to purchase one of these two welders, and I'm not sure yet which one. So I figured I'd make a video, let you guys know which welder I plan on purchasing, or which two welders I'm thinking about. I'll let you guys go in the comment section, and maybe if any of you guys have used one of these welders or have an opinion about which one might be the better welder, leave a comment, and that'll help me make my decision a lot easier. The first welder that I'm thinking about getting is the Vulcan 140, I believe, from Harbor Freight. And the second welder that I'm thinking about getting is the Hobart 140 from Tractor Supply. So first we're going to talk about the Harbor Freight special, the Vulcan it's a MIG Max 140 welder with 120 volt input. Now these welders that I'm getting, I don't have 220 hookup, so I got to use basically household power 110. So otherwise I would get a bigger welder, something like the 190 or the 220 or something like that. But with what I got right now, it's going to be the regular 110, not 220 hookup. On this Vulcan welder, the first thing I'm looking at is how thin can I weld and how thick can I weld with this welder. And the Vulcan MIG Max is 24 gauge, basically sheet metal, to 5/16 thick plate steel on a single pass. This is the MIG welder, not a stick welder. The other thing I'm looking at is what materials can I weld with this, and I can weld stainless steel with this, regular steel, and aluminum. But with the aluminum I gotta buy the spool gun to go with it to do aluminum. I probably won't be doing a lot of aluminum, probably zero aluminum welding, but that's the option that I got with this. I can add a spool gun to this and weld aluminum with it if down the road that becomes an option. And to be honest with you, I don't know a whole lot about welders. When I was younger I welded. My first job was a welding job, so I don't know a ton about welders, so that's why I'm not going into more details, because I really don't. I'm reading this stuff and I'm really not comprehending what this stuff means. So the last thing I'm looking at is price, and this Vulcan MIG Max 140 runs $549.99. They usually get a 20% coupon, but you can't use them with the welders, so basically it's going to be $549.99 plus tax, which will end up being $575 with tax, something like that. So that's the three areas I'm looking at the Vulcan MIG Max 140. Now we're going to look at the Hobart 140 from Tractor Supply. So we're going to go over and look at Tractor Supply, and they got the Hobart Handler 140 MIG welder. So the first thing is, again, it's a 110 household electricity. Like I said, I don't got the 220 hookup, so that's why I'm going with the 140. Otherwise, originally I wanted to go with actually the 190, or the Vulcan equivalent, which I think is a 220. I don't know if they make a 190. I think, I'm not sure. But anyways, it doesn't matter because we don't got that hookup, so we're going to just go with the 110 hookup here. Again, we're going to look at the what's able to weld thicknesses, and like the Vulcan, it can weld as low as 24 gauge sheet metal. But on the Hobart, it'll weld up to a 1/4 inch on a single pass, where the Vulcan only went up to 5/16 on a single pass. So we can go a little bit thicker on our steel with the Hobart than we can over the Vulcan. So that's kind of a good thing, although 1/4 inch steel is pretty thick for steel, and I don't know if I'd ever weld anything that thick, but having that option is kind of a plus in that area. So just like the Vulcan, this thing will weld stainless, regular steel, and if you add a spool gun, it'll also weld the aluminum also. So pretty much the same there. The last thing we're going to look at is price. and the price of the Hobart Handler 140 is $519 compared to the Vulcan of $569, I believe. The only good thing about the Hobart over the price, I mean there's a couple good things over the Vulcan, but one of them is it's actually on sale until the 1st of July. So it's actually right now $469 until July the 1st, and I plan to make a purchase, like I said before, July 4th. You're going to save about 50 bucks off that price. Okay guys, so that's my two welders I'm looking at. The Harbor Freight Vulcan Mid-Max 140 versus the Tractor Supply Hobart Handler 140. Price-wise, the Vulcan's $569 and the Hobart's $519, but it's on sale 50 bucks off, so it's actually $469. It's $100 cheaper if I make that purchase before July. So that's another thing we got to consider. On the steel, they both weld 24 gauge. The Vulcan will go to 5/16. The Hobart goes to 1/4 inch on a single pass. And they both weld stainless, they both weld steel, and they both weld aluminum just by adding a spool gun. But that is something extra you have to add that don't come with the packaging. Other than that, that is it. That's the two welders I'm looking at. Go into the comments section if you used either one of these or both of them. Tell me what you thought, what your results were, what I should go with, what you think, what you would go with if you were going to make this decision here. And I got to pull the trigger on this within the next week or two. So we're going to make a decision here probably later this week and pull the trigger and go pick up a welder. Don't forget about my merch by Amazon. There's links in the description box below. Check those out. Go into the comment section, give me a comment, like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.